Naomi Osaka's return to tennis was not just another comeback story, it was an emotional moment that touched the hearts of millions across the world. For months, fans had been wondering if we would ever see her again competing on the biggest stages. The four-time Grand Slam champion had stepped away from the sport, choosing to prioritize her mental health, her personal well-being, and then later, her journey into motherhood. And when the day finally came that Naomi stepped back onto the court with her daughter, baby Shai, watching from the stands, it was a moment that transcended sport. It was about resilience, love, and the courage to begin again. The stadium was buzzing with anticipation. You could feel the energy shift the moment Naomi's name was announced. Fans rose to their feet, cheering with a passion that reminded everyone just how much she had been missed. She walked out wearing a calm but emotional smile, her eyes glancing toward the stands where her mother was holding baby Shai. That single glance said everything. This was not just a tennis match. This was a new chapter, one where Naomi would carry the strength of motherhood onto the court. Her first few steps onto the baseline were filled with nerves, but the crowd supported her every move. Every swing of the racket, every bounce of the ball felt like a reminder of who she was and what she had achieved. The former world number one, who had inspired countless fans around the globe with her fearless game, was now inspiring in a different way. She was showing the world that even after stepping away, even after going through the challenges of pregnancy and raising a child, you can return stronger and more determined than ever. As the match began, there was an intensity in Naomi's eyes that fans had missed. She wasn't just out there to participate, she was competing with purpose. And yet, what made the moment even more emotional was the sound of tiny cheers from the stands. Baby Shai, though too young to understand the magnitude of what her mother was doing, was there smiling, clapping in her own innocent way, and giving Naomi an extra spark of energy. Cameras captured every heartwarming moment, with fans and commentators alike unable to stop talking about how beautiful it was to see a young mother returning to her passion with her daughter watching her. Naomi's story had always been about more than just trophies. From the very beginning, she has been open about her struggles with mental health, the pressures of fame, and the weight of expectations. She had walked away from tournaments, spoken candidly about anxiety, and reminded the world that athletes are human beings first. That vulnerability had made her one of the most relatable champions in the sport. Now, she was returning with a new source of strength: motherhood. For Naomi, this was no longer about proving herself to critics or fighting to silence doubters. This was about playing the sport she loved for herself and for her daughter. Throughout the match, the crowd rallied behind her. Every winner she hit was met with thunderous applause, every mistake quickly forgiven, because everyone understood the magnitude of what she was doing. Her body had gone through so much in the past year, and yet here she was, competing at the highest level. The cameras kept zooming in on Shai, her big curious eyes watching the action, her tiny hands reaching out as if to cheer her mom on. It was enough to bring tears to the eyes of even the toughest fans. Naomi's return wasn't perfect. She had moments of rust, moments where her timing was off, and moments where the old frustrations started to surface. But each time, she reset, breathed, and kept going. It was a reflection of how much she had grown as a person. In the past, a missed shot might have haunted her, but now, with Shai in the stands, Naomi carried herself with a new sense of perspective. There was a calmness, almost a peace, as if she knew that no matter what happened on the scoreboard, she had already won by simply being there. What made this moment even more touching was how the tennis community reacted. Players, commentators, and legends of the sport all sent messages of love and support. Social media erupted with fans sharing clips of Shai clapping for her mom, calling it one of the most beautiful scenes the sport had seen in years. The hashtag Welcome Back Naomi trended worldwide. Many described the moment as a reminder of why they fell in love with tennis in the first place, not just for the competition, but for the human stories that connect us all. Naomi Osaka's journey has been full of highs and lows. She has lifted Grand Slam trophies, carried the weight of a nation on her shoulders, spoken up on issues of social justice, and battled through periods of deep personal struggle. Her decision to take a step back when the world demanded her presence was a brave one. And now, her return, with baby Shai by her side, is a testament to her resilience. It shows the world that it's okay to pause, to heal, to grow, and to return when you are ready. By the end of the match, as Naomi walked toward her bench, she glanced at her daughter again. The smile that spread across her face was filled with pure love and pride. It wasn't about winning or losing anymore. It was about showing her daughter what strength looks like, what determination feels like, and what it means to chase your dreams even when life takes unexpected turns. Fans in the crowd stood up for a standing ovation, applauding not just the tennis they had witnessed, but the courage it took for Naomi to be there. It was the kind of ovation that wasn't about the score, but about the heart. Naomi's eyes welled up with tears as she waved to the crowd, then placed her hand on her chest as if to say thank you. This was more than a comeback. It was a reminder that greatness doesn't disappear when you step away. It evolves, it transforms, and it returns even stronger. Naomi Osaka, with her daughter cheering her on, gave us a moment that will live forever in tennis history. It wasn't just about forehands and backhands. It was about love, courage, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. And as Naomi walked off the court, carrying both her racket and the hopes of so many fans, there was one clear message left behind. This is just the beginning of a new chapter, and it's going to be beautiful. Would you like me to also craft a thumbnail prompt for this script so your video can instantly grab clicks?